Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Johnny.
And I'm gonna enjoy this ride all over again
Alright,
for the 6th time.
we're the Super Gamer Brothers, and welcome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been following this channel, we've done our action-adventure games, we've done our platformers, survival horror.
Racing?
No, we haven't done racing yet.
You know, I caught you with that.
No, not yet. Actually, we should do that. But anyway, I think it's about time we finally get to an RPG. And what better
Kingdom
way
Hearts
to...
doesn't count?
No, well, that's an action RPG. That's an action game with RPG elements. I'm talking about traditional RPG.
Ah, the menu-based.
Yes. And
Time to play fun with Microsoft. Time to play with fun with your interface GUIs.
Yeah, and I think there's no better way to start than with the first RPG I ever played in my entire life, Final Fantasy IV. And no, your eyes aren't deceiving you. Yes, we are watching the Nintendo DS intro, which is lovely, but we're not playing the DS version. We're actually playing the Final Fantasy IV Complete Edition on the PlayStation Portable, which I consider to be the best version of the game, to be perfectly honest.
I did come lately to Final Fantasy IV. One of my first introductions to the game was actually the DS version. However, I thoroughly enjoyed the DS version because I found it solely because of the challenge that the game offered up.
Yes.
However, the story, the characterization, and the way that they made characters seem like they're regretful without actually being wusses about it really won me over. I thoroughly enjoyed the story to this game. Top to bottom.
I've played this game from beginning to end countless amount of times. Not the same amount of times as I have 6, but this is I've still spent more time than necessary playing this game because I love it so much. To me, when I first played this game like around 93, 94. No, earlier than that, actually. Yeah, about 93, 94. And you know, I was only about 6, 7 years old, and I still got it. I mean, I don't understand the story completely, but I was still able to get from point A to point B rather easily.
That would be really one of the selling points of Final Fantasy VII. On paper, on straight through, when you don't think about it, it's go forth, save the world.
Yes.
Then you go back through it and you dig deeper and deeper and deeper. And a nice little pose there for us.
Alright, so just to get a few technical aspects out of the way, because some of you might be wondering, how exactly am I recording this? Well, initially, what Matt said earlier, this is about our 6th attempt, because, ladies and gentlemen, Final Fantasy IV is giving us some real bad luck in terms of recording. Now, we never really got more than an hour in, so thankfully it's nothing like Sonic 06.
Yeah, but at the same time, there still suffers the same problem of I'm going to be sitting through the intro again, and I hope the commentary it'll still be fresh on Final Fantasy IV.
Well, we are doing things a bit differently this time. For one thing, me and Matt are actually approaching this post-commentary. We're not playing this live, we're actually watching a MP4 video that I processed overnight, and, you know, here we are watching it. Now, secondly, you may be wondering, how exactly am I recording this? You know, the quality is so crisp and clean for a PSP capture. Well, initially, me and Matt were going to use the component cables that I got off Amazon. It cost like $8 to $9 with shipping included, and it's passable if you just want to play the game on a big screen.
Right.
If you're trying to record it, it's a mess. It looks ugly. It's muddy. Everything. So
better this than SNES version that we were trying to do.
So I did a little more research, and I ended up going to H.C. Bailey's Final Fantasy IV Complete Edition LP, which I highly recommend you watch. You really can't get any better than that when it comes to informative RPG playthroughs. And I'm reading the comments, and one of them told me about the Remote Joy Lite. It's a program on your PC that allows you to connect your PSP to your laptop, and you can see whatever is on your PSP screen on your laptop. With that out of the way, I can now record that screen with something like Fraps or Camtasia Studio 8 if you have that. You have to record the audio separately with a mic jack, which kind of irks me a bit. But in the end, when, you know, sometimes you gotta suffer a bit if you want to provide clear, crisp, quality entertainment, you know. And I'm willing to do that because, ladies and gentlemen, I love the PSP version of this game. The graphics are clean, it just looks so beautiful that, you know, you have no idea how much I geeked out when I saw, like, preview shots of this. Like, I was scrolling in the internet one day, and I think I was reading a GameSpot article, and they said Final Fantasy IV is getting the Final Fantasy 1 and 2 PSP treatment. I was like, no shit, really? And, you know, I fell in love, because not only do you get a completely revamped 2D Final Fantasy IV, you also get a completely 2D revamp of Final Fantasy IV The After Years, which was initially a mobile phone game, but, you know, they finally gave it all the bells and whistles that I think made the original Final Fantasy enjoyable.
And you're going to notice that right off the bat that the battle sprites and animations in this game look so crisp, clean, and beautiful.
Yes.
Like, it's a step up from the DS in my DS version.
Yeah. And just, yeah, I have nothing against the DS version. I still think the DS version is a fantastic version of Final Fantasy IV.
It's my favorite one still because of the challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah!
I will agree that I think the DS version does a really good job of trolling me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I can't use a strategy anymore.
No, that's the way that trolling the older players saying, yeah, the shit you pulled before is not going to work this time.
But you're gonna love the spell slow.
Yeah, and cry.
and cry.
I never had Kane cry so much in all my life.
But anyway, to actually...
Hey, yo, Ron, you know what the argument was for cry? Cecil making out with Rosa.
You keep crying, Kane. I feed on it.
By the way, this theme here is simply known as the Red Wings theme, and I have to admit, if you think you're hearing a remix, you're wrong.
No.
This is directly from the SNES version of the time.
Yeah.
They did this quality music on the early-ass systems. It's amazing.
Yeah, No Boy Matsu really went out, off the wall here for this soundtrack. And to this day, I still can't find a soundtrack that sounds as grand as Final Fantasy IV's. Like,
nice.
I love Final Fantasy V soundtrack. I love Final Fantasy VI's soundtrack, and to me, I kind of think 6 sounds a little bit better composed. But 4, you don't hear a game on the Super Nintendo that sounds like this anymore.
I mean, 6 had a few tracks here and there, but honestly, on the whole, I wasn't that impressed with 6's soundtrack. But
yeah,
like compared to like other games, though, like I'm really more impressed with Final Fantasy IV soundtrack, considering they achieved this quality of it on the early ass systems like this.
Yes.
It's not short of impressive. It's not short of unholy impressive. Hey, check it out, bacon. Bacon.
Actually, yeah. To actually talk about what's going on the screen, because man, we went like on a full 7 minutes without actually telling what's going on.
Technically, you did. I just sort of shut up.
Well, no. Okay. Well, what's going on? Our main protagonist is Cecil Harvey. His last name is Harvey, and he is the commander of the Red Wings, the
Detroit hockey team.
The Baron Air Fleet. I don't know, maybe the Red Wings got a serious promotion and now they're controlling airships. Anyway, Cecil was sent to retrieve the crystal in the village of Mysidia, but he had to kill innocent people who didn't even put up any resistance to get it.
Well, technically 3 mages died. The last mage that was pretty much the resemblance of Louis C.K. was pretty much shoved to the side.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure that won't have any consequences later on whatsoever. But anyway, Cecil is feeling a bit guilty because, well, first off, him and his men just killed a bunch of innocent people. Like, I can't get around this. And he's feeling quite guilty of it. Now, he tries to question the king, why exactly did you set me out there to begin with? And the king is just like, you motherfucker, how dare you question me?
Yeah, go fuck yourself, Cecil.
Now he's given Cecil the carnelian signet to deliver to the village of Mist. We don't know what the carnelian signet is, but it's not a fancy name. Maybe it's a wine. Anyway, the character to the right of Cecil is his best friend, Kane Highwind.
Yeah, who absolutely went over the heavy voice in the city of Duodecim.
Yeah, I think he has a pretty badass voice, actually.
It's a great voice, don't get me wrong. I just sometimes feel like it's a little over the top.
Oh, maybe it was done on purpose. Anyway, what I'm doing here, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm configuring the menu a bit here. I like to set the dash feature to on because, God bless you, PSP version, you have a dash feature.
Yeah.
Nothing against the original versions, but sometimes I cringe at how slow Cecil moves. And I blame 6th for that, for introducing the sprint shoes. No, actually, 5 also had the
5 had the dash
a bit with a thief, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had that too. So yeah, I'm also configuring the battle speed to the fastest because I'm a.
Where's Kane's eyes?
Little whore. I don't know.
I mean, Cecil's you can understand by just being locked in a dark plate, but Kane looks like you can see his eyes and they're all white.
Yeah. Well, it's probably just for intimidation with the helmet.
And here we can see that the king has apparently gone a bit buckwa, which is really the basis for Cecil questioning the king. Not so much that what the king ordered him to do, well, it is what the king ordered him to do that made him question it, but more so that these are really weird orders.
Yeah, especially he raised Cecil and Kane as children, and he was usually he was once a benevolent king, but now he's suddenly ordering all of these inhumane tasks, like killing all the people in the Mysidia and delivering this fine wine to the village of Mist. But
meanwhile, our pantsless white mage there is Rosa.
Yes, Cecil's love interest.
What about Kane? Oh.
Well, Well, we'll go more into Kane as we continue along our journey. Anyway, this Santa Claus in his early 30s is Sid. I forgot his last name. Who cares? It's Sid.
He just teleported down the stairs.
Final Fantasy tradition. There's always a Sid.
Yeah, right.
Was there a Sid in 13?
Yes.
Oh.
I hate that Sid.
What's your favorite incarnation of Sid?
For laughs, I really enjoyed the Robin Williams Sid in Final Fantasy VIII. Actually, Final Fantasy IX had a really funny Sid as well. I like 7. Well, 7 Sid I liked for his humor rather than his wife beating antics.
I think 7 Sid is my favorite Sid.
He's a wife beater.
And so here we find out Cecil's a bedwetter.
If this clock don't shut the fuck up.
Clock won't stop ticking. There's moon shining right in my fucking face.
The king is trying to kill me and Kane.
So Cecil's, having inner thoughts. He's like, he can't understand why the king is causing him to do this, but he doesn't want to betray the king in the first place because, like I mentioned earlier,
he's a damn father to him.
Yeah. Anyway, Rose is concerned about Cecil.
And she's going to try to offer him some pity sex. But Cecil's too lost in the darkness of his own actions to get even a remote tunk out of his armor.
But Rose is really just here to, to show that she's there to support Cecil, and she can't stand to see him whimper like this. In fact, the moment Cecil starts feeling any sort of angst, Rosa immediately snaps him out of it and says, you're not like that.
That's what I like about Cecil. He legitimately has a very, very good reason to feel bad for his actions, but he doesn't take it into Wang's territory too much.
No.
Usually he feels bad about it, and then he goes about trying to make things right. Dark Knight be damned.
Alright, so we're really not going to be doing much this part. We're pretty much just getting the basics out of the way, the introductions. But now,
it begins with the Final Fantasy fanfare, nonetheless.
Yeah. Considered to be the national anthem of the series, and I agree. I do love this theme, and its many incarnations.
All rise for it.
Yeah, all rise for the Final Fantasy national anthem. I'm gonna sit down. I'm
fine.
I assure you, I'm listening in. But I'm actually really glad Final Fantasy 12 brought this incarnation of the theme back.
Oh yeah.
My favorite version of the song, though, probably would have to be from,
minus 12.
No, I think 6 is actually my favorite incarnation of the theme. But, anyway, so yeah, we have the opening prologue here.
Don't you wish the Star Wars text scrolled up this fast?
Well, it's better than the fucking, the Final Fantasy IV translated ROM that we're initially going to do first before we decide to tackle the PSP version. Yeah, before I got the idea of doing the PSP version, because I really do love this version, I can't say that enough, we were going to do the 10-year anniversary ROM that kept the original Final Fantasy IV's difficulty while keeping everything English. So you had everything intact, just that you had an English ROM. Thing is, though, and this is nothing against the people who translated that, they really don't know the term localization. They translated everything with no sense of where you're translating it to, and...
No, what it is that they don't... what it is just plain basic weebooism. In other words, just because that's exactly how they say it in their text or their phrase doesn't mean that's how we're supposed to say it here. We can understand saying things in fewer words.
It's just that, like the opening prologue crawl that we saw earlier, when you're playing the 10-year anniversary translated ROM, it takes like 5 fucking minutes for it to go by. Anyway, look, we got a dancer here. Fun fact, in the original version, she takes off her dress to dance for Cecil, so she's wearing nothing but bra and panties.
To which Cecil can't even bother getting aroused.
No.
Lady, if my heart wasn't full of such anger and wanks and sorrow, I would be going wee. And I would probably slap your ass for a good $20.
But I'm wearing big, bulky armor. And I would have to have a really powerful raging boner for it to go through this armor.
Tunk.
It's +2 defense.
You know what? I imagine that every time Kane has that near Rosa, he says he just drops his spear. So you're robbing from old women. Fuck you, Johnny.
No, that's Rosa's house. And hey,
are you robbing from her mother?
It's her.
You're an asshole.
I'm a Dark Knight.
Okay, see, that's reasonable. You're a Dark Knight.
Cecil. Anyway, we're in the town of Barron, which we really can't do much in here now, so I just wanted to show that off. But anyway, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's really time to get started with our journey, so we need to head west to the Mist Cave.
And we
First,
see goblins.
Battle time. Now, if you guys are familiar with my brain scratcher on Final Fantasy VI, pretty much same rules apply. Every time I run into a new enemy formation, I will show off that random encounter. Otherwise, I'm editing the battle out. But another reason why I love the PSP version so much is because we have the auto battle feature, which is also in the DS version. But in this version, when you use it, things just speed up so dramatically, and it makes, you know, grinding and just getting through tedious battles all the much easier and more comfortable. I love you, PSP version. Really can't say that enough. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen,
now that Johnny has frosted his pants, we're finally going into a cave.
We're approaching the end of this part, so next part we're going to explore the Mist Cave and see what awaits on the other side, and maybe we'll have a taste of that carnelian signet.
Yeah, I just hope we don't murder anybody's mother along the way. We don't need any more guilt on our conscience.
No, we're not playing 13 yet, Matt.
Oh.
So with all that said, I
don't feel bad about that, and I'm going to be anywhere along for the ride.
Yeah, well, we'll see you guys for part 2.